Gosh, that video is awesome.
Isn't it though?
It
Ah,
is.
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's VIP GT World Championship. I am Slow Mo. It is such an honor to be here. I am joined with I'm going the wrong way, excuse me. Two of my fellow members here with Upshift Media, Salamander and Papa. Papa, I'm going to start over there with you. We got to watch some really good pre-qualifying last night with quite a bit of excitement for really qualifying. Tell
It
us a little bit about some of your thoughts from that.
it was amazing qualifying last night. We got to watch four car teams on the track at the same time. We got to watch a half of one team with some brilliant strategy going on. It just and the times were off the charts, you guys. I don't expect anything less for tonight. It's going to be just buckle in. You're going to enjoy this.
Yeah, such a cool league VIP is putting on here.
Yes.
Sal, obviously, you've been very involved, with getting us to this point. So, first of all, personally, thank you for doing so much that you've done for us to get here. This is just so much fun. The league itself is exciting with so many different dramatic options that we're going to see throughout the season. Tell us a little bit what you're looking forward to for tonight's pre-qualifying.
Yeah, I mean, really just the action on track, and just seeing this all come together. I mean, last night I was running the broadcast and really got to sit behind the scenes and have all this unfold in front of us. And just like Papa and TK's, I was in awe of what these drivers were doing on the track,
Yeah.
putting down some times I certainly was not expecting to see, or at least not in the abundance that we saw them. So, yeah, I mean, it's been so much fun, working with VIP to put this all together. It's really been a fun experience getting it all set up, and I'm glad to see it underway. This is great.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that we never see a lack of is talent when we get to spectate some of these leagues, and this one is absolutely no exception. Papa, you mentioned that from last night, and looking at the roster of people tonight, I expect nothing different from what you saw last night. One of my favorite things was some of the strategies that ended
Yeah.
up getting played out, for a qualifying session, to be able to be out there with your team member and hey, maybe you do scrub a lap to be in that spot for slipstream. So we are going to move on and talk a little bit about tonight's pre-qualifying. We're going to be starting out in Oceania, which will be conquering the mountain. And Sal, obviously, you know exactly which mountain we're going to.
Mount Panorama. We're running some Group Two, the Audi RSR or RSS Turbo DTM from 2019. This thing has active aero. Like I said, it's a Group Two car, high downforce. This is a fun one to watch, both go up and down the mountain. We know that cars can get real squirrely, but with the added downforce, uh, you know, the guys can get a lot better control, but they can't get too confident in it. It'll bite them.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you can see here for our first qualifying session, we're going to have two drivers that'll be out there on the track, which are two drivers from the Big Pace team. You've got Super S2K, who will be driving with Rodrigo on the track out there. So we'll be watching for those two guys to put down their qualifying laps. I believe they've been getting some practice laps in, and again, we don't expect too much different from what we've seen in the past. I mean, we've seen everything. 143, if I'm not mistaken, was the lead lap, and I'm sorry, I don't have it on the screen right in front of me, but
Yeah,
you
we had
know,
145s. The first
45
set.
set.
45. Okay,
So in Big Pace, they did two of their drivers yesterday, AMS Lukey and If Looks Could Kill, and they both ran in the 145 range yesterday. So
right.
this is definitely a team to watch, it seems like.
And I know where I'm getting that 143 number from. There is the potential expectation that one of our drivers tonight has said, in some practice runs that they've been able to hit that. So we'll be watching closely to see if any of
Ah,
these guys can really put that hammer down. I mean, That's another level of alien, if you're asking my
Right?
opinion.
Yes.
43 is bold. I'm going to be shocked if we see a 44, or excited, I should say. If we see a
I'm
43,
with you.
I might pass out.
We're going to see by the end of these qualifying sessions, by the end of Sunday night, we're going to see a 44. I get we're going to see a 44. It's just a
Yeah, what
matter
if
of
There
we
you
who.
get
have it, ladies
people
and gentlemen.
slipstream?
Papa
Yeah,
has
Right?
guaranteed it.
they're
So,
just yes.
okay. Before I forget, for those of you guys out there watching on McNaughty's channel, thank you so much. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. But please also feel free to stop by our Upshift Media channel there and make sure and give us a subscribe. You can also watch the stream being broadcast from that channel as well. So you're welcome to check it out on either. Please tell your friends. We are certainly trying to build up our follower account up a little bit as we've just gotten started here, and we're really excited to be a part of the VIP League here, and appreciate everything that everybody's done for us in the first pre-qualifying. I mean, we're not even into the league yet, and you guys are showing us excellent support. We also have a QR code that's down in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Feel free to scan that if you'd like to, contribute to the Upshift Media Group and kind of support our endeavor going forward, and kind of help us bring exciting leagues and to you guys as viewers, and also give these leagues a platform to show some of their talents off. So, Sal, what am I leaving out here?
I mean, you really kind of hit all the high points for sure. Definitely with the VIP league. I mean, this is our inaugural league to be running our broadcast on, with our Upshift Media Studios brand, and couldn't be happier. The collaboration we've had with VIP to get this thing put together has been exciting. The launch has gone well. We certainly had our opening kind of, hey, this is what we're doing, and we've gotten some interest from some other leagues already. So it's just a matter of finding a good fit, and being able to bring all this kind of like league action, the same kind of stuff that you're going to see today, to continue to bring that. So definitely go, if you're watching on the McNaughty channel, welcome, but definitely go over to Upshift Media Studios, check us out there, like and subscribe over there. Um, if the spirit moves you, hit the QR code that we got down in the corner if you wish to donate to what we're doing. We greatly appreciate that as well. But yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of fun, getting it all together and really trying to put together how this is all going to work as far as a template and all that kind of stuff. So VIP has certainly been a good one to start with. I don't want to say it's been easy, but they have certainly made it easier by supplying, a lot of the graphics.
Yeah.
They've done a bit of the legwork themselves. They've got some talented graphics guys. I know that they've stood up their own website, motorsportleagues.com, which is what they're using this particular league to kind of test out as well. I believe it's going to be similar to something like a sim grid, but I believe that their outlook and what they want to do with it exceeds what they were able to get out of some of these other league sites out there. So really excited to see that. I mean, we've got a whole bunch of stuff kind of all popping off at the same time, with the Motorsport League's website, with Upshift Media as this broadcasting company, and just VIP doing their inaugural league. So there's a lot of firsts, but it's really been great because we've got enough people with enough talent, and we've done this enough times that it's come across fairly well polished, and we hope to keep doing that. So
Yeah,
good
Sal,
times all around.
don't forget about the motorsports fantasy website as well. You guys can simply join that website. I was actually on it earlier today. It's very cool. That will you'll be able to start building your team once the drivers have gotten through the pre-qualifying session. So after that's completed, you can go in there, you can build your team. Everybody will have their values, and you'll be able to set up your fantasy team for this league. I'm pretty excited to participate in this. I know I missed out on one of the other opportunities that I think that was NRL, but it sounds like such a fun thing. Sal or Papa, did you guys do the fantasy last time?
I did. It was a lot of fun. I mean, that was kind of the test bed for for the fantasy league site was doing it with
Right.
NRL, and it was a blast. I mean, it's similar to there's a lot of different ways you can run fantasy leagues. They do it as like a draft and a value based on team members. So I had a lot of fun with it. Papa, did you do that one too?
I did not. I haven't done any of the fantasy leagues that the leagues have been running, but I definitely want to get into it. So I'll be there. I'm just slow. I'll get there eventually.
Yeah, Papa, you and I can walk through it together. I'm kind of with you. I got to figure it out. I haven't done it yet, but
But
we're
your
gonna
actual
do it.
name
And
is slow. So
it's
that
true.
works.
It's true. I'm expected to be slow, and that's okay.
Right.
So
We're all
that,
trying to just kind of stay at the same level here.
that's right.
That's what we're doing.
Right.
Yeah,
All right,
but
so
yeah, we're gonna have to do the fantasy. I've got my eyes on a couple people here that I've seen already, and some of the other guys on the roster. So I think that's going to be a really kind of a fun, dynamic fantasy
I think
option
so.
that they've got here. So
I love the idea of really bringing in the fans. I mean, a lot of times we do these leagues where we're, catering to the drivers to make sure that the driving
yeah,
is the best it can be. But I mean, VIP has really gone out of their way to make this something for the fans as well, and that's something we've
Right.
aspired to in like the PHG side as well. So to get people to come watch and to be entertained and to get a little bit of extra, not just watching the drivers on the track is a lot of fun. I'd been pushing to do like an NRL fantasy for multiple seasons and could never get traction on it. So I'm glad
yeah.
VIP was able to get that going.
I do remember that Fredbird and I actually discussed that one year, and we were going to join in there, and things got busy with being on broadcast team, so we didn't get to quite participate. But it's such a neat thing to be able to do, and I mean, somebody like me, there's plenty of us out here that are really fans of the sports and fans of the league that. I'm not trying to race with these guys, but I'd love to have a little bit of skin in the game, right? Let's get a fantasy
Yep.
team together, and
Right.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to do okay in this fantasy league. I feel like I handicap fairly well most of the time.
It is fun when you've got somebody to cheer for. And speaking of people
Yeah.
to cheer for, we got the
Now,
drivers out on track now. It's a big pace out here with their second set of drivers. Let's see if they can get the same kind of big pace that their first two drivers got yesterday.
yeah, one thing I noticed yesterday is you didn't quite see as much of the teamwork as I was expecting. We saw some very cool strategy operations that they ran, but I mean, I didn't see anybody just kind of lined up and running as a team.
Yeah, it gets so tricky here at Mount Panorama, right?
Right.
Because
That's
on the
same
long
thing.
straights, that slipstream is great, but going up and down the mountain, that dirty air can kill you. So you really have to time it. And yesterday we did see a number of like 2-car and even a 3-car and even a single car qualifying session. So I think we only had one that had all 4 team members out at the same time.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see more of that today. So there might be a bit more teamwork involved. We'll see if some of the people really try to execute that slingshot maneuver. That was a fun one to watch yesterday.
That really was, yeah. As we watch Mr. Regalado get out here, going down the front straight on his hot lap. There, to your point, this is such a very tricky course. There are a lot of turns and a lot of elevation changes, and some off-camber situations you have to navigate through. So it can be very easy to get yourself out of sorts on this track specifically. And plenty of opportunities going up, and then plenty of opportunities going down the mountain.
Yeah, it's so neat how, I mean, Mount Panorama in some ways is similar to like a Laguna Seca, where you go up the mountain, down the mountain. There's some things that are similar, but then there's a lot of things that are totally different. Like the fact that the walls are right there. You've got no runoff here at Mount Panorama, and you make a mistake, you can end up in that Austin Powers situation where you got to try to back and forth, try to get your way up.
I've been there.
But
a 20-point turn.
Exactly. And then at Laguna Seca, you've got all the dirt runoff, so you can run wide and get no damage, but it can take you forever to get back onto the track. But then you've got the corkscrew where you come down, which just like Mount Panorama here, you hit the top, and all of a sudden coming down the other side is so tricky. But yeah, I mean, I've never been all that good at either one of the tracks, so it's really impressive watching these guys get around so smoothly.
Yeah, and as we watch Regalado come around the last turn there towards the start finish, and he put up a pretty solid first lap there. That's a 149.639 to be followed by
Oh,
Super S2K's 145.517. Very good laps out there.
yeah, both of those times beat their teammates from yesterday. Yesterday, AMS Nuki had a 145.677. So both of these guys, I mean, God, they were a fast team already. They're going to average. I mean, and that's the thing to maybe point out, is in this pre-qualifying session, the teams do compete as a team. Their 4 times get averaged together to an average team time. So this team is now going to have an average time in the 145s, which is, I think, going to put them at the top, at least temporarily. We'll see what these other teams can get going. But man, I mean, that's some consistency across 4 different people.
Right?
Yep, it absolutely is. One thing that you guys had talked about yesterday, the challenge of starting with just a quarter tank of fuel, right? That's going to send you to the pits reasonably fast. So you might as well go ahead and get yourself a fresh set of tires. The pit strategy for this has been interesting to watch as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's always good being able to run with a low tank. That's certainly going to give you your fastest times, but it's so low that they do have to come into pit for fuel, even if they could make the tires last. So, kind of forces the drivers to come in, get a fresh set of rubber, and again, just try to put down their fastest lap. And geez, Regalado just got a 45.423. I think that might be the fastest time we've seen so far. It is. Looking at the sheet from yesterday, we have not seen a time that fast. Holy.
Super S2K just came across with 45.596. So they both improved on their laps.
Yeah, this big pace team does have big pace for sure.
Right?
So the name fits.
Yeah.
Way to go. They're on point. But man, I mean, all 4 of them. I mean, I've seen more drivers than I was expecting getting into that 45 range, and now that we've seen so many, I'm starting to wonder if that 44 is possible. I mean, these guys haven't worked together yet.
No.
So with Regalado getting a 45.4 without any slipstream help, now that they've kind of banked their good lap on this second half of qualifying, it'll be interesting to see if they try to team up and see if they can make it even quicker. I do believe all these drivers are not only running for the team, but I believe there is an individual championship on the line as well when we get into the season. So it does pay to be the fastest. Frenemies. You got guys that work together, but they still want to beat each other.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like we're going to see Regalado come across the line first here, and then Super S2K is back behind him,
Into the pits.
and he's going to dip in and get himself a fresh set of rubber and some fuel, as well as Super S2K. So yeah, I mean, as I was mentioning, that fuel strategy it's pretty straightforward because you really can't run another lap at that point. So, Papa, what do you think? Are there any opportunities for these guys to come out of the pits together now? Do you think they timed that close enough?
Well, I mean, there was probably 4 or 5 seconds between the two cars. I mean, Regalado, if he backs off a little bit here, just kind of waits going around this lap on their hot lap, it's possible.
I think it would be in his best interest to certainly, go, full beans on the out lap, or at least, through the whole out lap, and even the next lap get to, like we saw yesterday, where you stop at the bottom of the hill, because you don't want to be behind somebody both going up or down the mountain, because that's actually going to hurt you. But on the long straights, it can certainly help. That's really the one time that it will help. Now, with that being said, the cars have enough downforce that I think they could still get through a number of these corners without lifting, even with the dirty air. there's just less margin for error, of course.
It is. We take a look here at the bumper can with Regalado as he makes his way back down the hill. That is a wild ride.
Right? That's just crazy looking.
Whew. And I know we use this term loosely, but he makes it look easy, and he does. And I say that because I go out there and I would hit every wall on the way down.
Pinball action. That's me.
It's funny. I've been watching Super S2K here, and you know, he's certainly had a couple of wiggles here and there. I mean, his time is still phenomenal, 1:45.5. So in some cases, I think we hear this in NASCAR a lot, where loose is fast, and I think we're seeing that. If you can wrangle the car being a little bit loose and get that extra rotation, it almost looks bad, but they seem to be. It's certainly working for these guys. They know something I don't, for sure.
Yeah, they're definitely on edge. I agree.
You can see him still trying to keep those tires heated up, try to keep them nice and clean. Activating that DRS, that's what we see. For those of you that aren't as familiar with GT7, that DRS, that red box down at the bottom, when that's blinking red, that means they're activating the drag reduction system. It flattens out the back rear wing, which gives them less downforce in the back, but also less drag. So the cars can go just a little bit faster. It's just like an added feature to this car. Like we see right now, it's white, which means it's available to be used, but going through the twisty bits, maybe not the smartest of ideas.
But didn't you, Papa, somebody was using it going, was it up or down the hill yesterday?
Probably, I think he was coming down. I know who you're talking about, and I do remember it. I think he was using the DRS coming down the mountain.
I remember you guys discussing it. You want the traction then. It was mind-boggling.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
And sure enough, it looks like they have paired up at least a little bit.
Regalado's giving him the slip. There he goes.
It looks like he may have slowed down a little too much. Didn't give him as much slip as he could have, but I mean, as you can see, he's a 10th up on his personal best. So we'll see if Super 2 S2K can hold on to this. Gets a little bit into the grass there. Keeps it under control. See if he can maintain that 10th of a second advantage. You can see Regalado in the background still scrubbing those tires, making sure to get them heated up properly.
There you go.
Oh, purple, a 1:45.3. The times continue to drop.
So again, a little bit more than what we had seen yesterday. Okay, moving pretty well. And those guys are not terribly far away from each other. So it is possible that they could do, you know, the other direction as looks like Super S2K is purple through the first section.
I think we're on Regalado, but yeah, the first section's a little deceiving because there's just one corner. So going purple in the first sector isn't as difficult, but now once they've gotten to the mountain, we'll see if they can hold on to it. I would imagine if they will work together on the last lap, this might be the lap where Super S2K now holds back as soon as he gets down to the bottom of the mountain. Lets Regalado catch up. If they can stay close enough together that they're without, you know, not getting the dirty air now, but can still maintain that speed when they get into the slipstream, that should help him even more. Looks like he's down a 10th. As he went up the mountain, we'll see if he can catch that with the added slipstream. Well, it doesn't look like Super S2K slowed down very much, so they may not be trying to do the slingshot quite yet. Might be, if they're in comms together, they may be waiting till he's on that perfect lap before they execute it.
Yep, I was just going to say that it didn't look like they were quite close enough to make that happen. But if you look at the time, there still is time for another couple laps here. They're going to be probably running out of fuel on this next lap, though.
Yeah, I would say they're running pretty low on fuel. They're only going to give one more lap in.
I think we saw that yesterday, too. The way the fuel situation worked out is you kind of got to a point where you could go one more lap, but you didn't have the fuel for it. I don't know if it was people just not filling up enough on that first stop, but this may be their last shot to really put down a quality time, so we'll see what happens. And S2K is going lower on the throttle to let them catch up. Oh, they might actually be just calling it. at this one.
Parade lap. It's a parade lap.
There you go. Side
Big
by
pace
side.
parade. Yeah.
Get your phone. Get your cameras out.
Look
Right.
at these
Photo
guys.
op.
And showing how to go too wide up and down the mountain. That's normally not the right thing to do. But
Yeah.
in this case,
When you're only doing 60 or 70 miles an hour, it's a little easier.
well, they have the 2 fastest times of all qualifiers
Yeah.
thus far. So
Yeah. Parade lap is earned. They deserve
clearly
this.
they know what they're doing.
Well done.
The audience in the booth applaud.
Oh man, so yeah, I mean, first team out of the chute, and we've already got record times for
Two fastest times, yeah.
for the VIP league. So, and we still got 3 more qualifiers tonight, and 2 more whole days of qualifying in Saturday and Sunday. So, as much as we're impressed by this time, I still think if a team can successfully, perfectly execute that slingshot on a good lap, I think a 44 is very plausible.
Yeah.
I want to see it. The fans want to see it.
Heck, the booth wants to see it too.
Well,
we do.
And we got fans in the booth, so
yes, that's true.
We're all right.
We're
all winners. Participation trophies all around.
And this is very Ford verse Ferrari esque, right? They're bringing them home.
Right.
Yeah. Oh,
dirty move.
Wide.
Dirty move.
He's like, no, it's mine.
So a 45.3 and a 45.4.
Very impressive.
Ooh.
Very awesome way to open up qualifying tonight. Well done, you guys. Well done.
Bravo. I mean, talk about a surprise. You know, I wasn't terribly familiar with either driver, not sure what to expect, but boy, they certainly have imprinted their names in my memory now. My goodness.
Absolutely. I mean, we've seen that plenty of times in like the PHE World Series where, guys come out of nowhere and just start racing. It's like, oh, we don't know who they are. How good are they? And then they end up being some of the fastest in the group. I mean, Jorge, who I believe we are going to be seeing later tonight, maybe. I believe Jorge is not on the agenda tonight, I believe.
No.
So
Not
he'll
tonight.
be on either
Okay.
Saturday or Sunday. But he had come out of nowhere, just joined up on the league and suddenly was like, oh, super fast time. So you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are plenty of other drivers on tonight's roster that have opportunity to, give these guys some challenge. But bravo, what a great way to open tonight's show. So
Absolutely.
I think we're going to a break next here, and then we will be back for our next qualifying session. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back with you.
Stick around.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the VIPGT World Championship. Once again, I am Slow Mo, joined by my colleagues Salamander and Papa. They're on this side, sorry. We just
Again?
got through with our first qualifying session, so we're getting ready for the second one. Blistering times that we've seen so far tonight, and looking at the roster of people that are going to be coming up, man, I'm excited to see if somebody's going to beat those or not. But boy, we've got some fun stuff coming up ahead still. So, Salamander, we are getting ready to jump back on track with another team here. And we'll take a look at the group that's coming up. Would you take us through the team for us?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we just got done watching Big Pace. 2-car team out there. They put down the 2 fastest times we've seen so far. But in this session, we've got Los Matadores with 4 different
Well
drivers
done.
from 4 different teams. We got Nuke from Sector 7. We've got Oak, who is part of both PHG and MMR. We got Slow K from NVR, and we got Q from what we call Team Fart, Free Agent Racing Team. Who doesn't belong to a team. But
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, it's going to be really interesting watching these guys. We've seen all of them in the PHG World Series. We've seen some of them in NRL, and all of them are fast. So I'm expecting big things out of this team, even though they're kind of a hodgepodge team, outside of VIP.
Yeah, such a neat mix of drivers there.
yeah,
And some of these guys like Papa, we were talking about Q has kind of come out of nowhere and been somebody that you really got to pay attention to.
yeah, absolutely. And
Yeah, I mean, Q really, I mean, he just showed up to like the PHG World Series. I think he said he found us on Reddit or something like that and came in super fast times. I met Oak for the first time last year in the IRO GTech series, the endurance series. And I mean, so I'll be honest, when he first started, he was kind of an average driver, but holy crap, in 1 year, he has gotten so fast. So I'm expecting big things out of him. And it looks like they are out on track going through their out laps, just getting warmed up and ready to go. I'll be interested to see just how well these guys work together, being as how they're not on the same teams outside of this league. But they again, they all know what they're doing. They're part of teams, like Sector 7 does a lot of cooperation. They do lots of practices. I know Oak, at least on the MMR side of things, they get a lot of practice sessions in too. So they're used to working together with teammates. So to be really anxious to see how they do this here. I think we've seen with the other qualifying sessions, everybody tries to get their own banker in first. Stay outside of the slipstream or outside the dirty air, I guess, really more than anything.
Yep.
Get a good banker lap in, and then after you've come into the pits, topped off your fuel, gotten new tires, that's the time to, pull out the tricks. See if you can get something in. Oh, Q loses it trying to get through the chicane there, taking it easy on the outlap. There is heavy damage involved. I'm anxious to see if he took damage. But he hit the curb and it hit the wall. Yep, does have damage. He's going to probably be in the pits right away. That may throw off whatever strategy he had. Yep, he is in. So these other 3 will be coming in eventually, and that may get everybody synced back up. But, for now, he's out on his own. But here we got Oak on his hot lap heading up the mountain, trying to do as best we can. We've got these big turbos on these Audi cars. We talked about the DRS, and here, Oak using the DRS heading up the hill. So he is confident in all the downforce that this car already has, that it has downforce to spare. It tries to get more speed heading on up, and now coming down the other side, just a little dab of the brake here, dab of the brake there, full throttle till we get into the tight left-hander right at the bottom of the mountain. This one is so tricky. You want to try to carry as much speed as you can for the longest straight on the track. Definitely activating that DRS. Anxious to see how this turns out. Only a kink, a chicane, and one more turn to go. to finish this lap off. 11 minutes, 40 seconds left to go in this qualifier, so plenty of time. These guys will be getting in, or at least the top three. Oak, Nuke, and Slow K will be getting their hot laps in at the end here. I keep calling our top guy here. His GT7 name is K Naranjo, but he goes by Oak. So I keep saying Oak. That's K Naranjo. Who puts in a 146.3? I mean, that's a very good time. I mean, I think we've gotten spoiled 45s at this point, but a 46.3 as a first lap is a very good time. I mean, that beats out a number of other drivers already. Nuke with a 47.9 and Slow K with a 48 flat. So definitely have some room for improvement here. We see Q now going through the chicane, trying to see if he can get through it cleanly this time, up on the curb again, but doesn't spin it around. That's what we like to see.
Yeah, and Q's just finishing his second out lap now, so hopefully he can get a good clean one in here and put a nice hot lap time down for us to go nuts over.
Absolutely. I want to see Q get hooked up with these other drivers. I'm anxious to see what they can do together.
Yeah, so Sal or Papa, I mean, on to that point, is the best way to pair up when you're, a four-man team on track at the same time, or do you try to, pair up and then stay close, or what do you think the best move really is?
I guess for me, I know I'm not as fast as these guys. So from my point of view, I like to be the helper, whether you're using my slipstream or if I'm bump drafting you down the straight to get your time better. Obviously, if you're doing the bump draft, if you're the second car, your time's going to be better anyway, just out of sheer strategy. So I don't know. It just I'd probably go with the two-car strat.
Okay.
I think if you get 3 or 4 together, it's just going to be a mess, and too many things can go wrong.
Yeah, and Sal, while we were doing that, Naranjo put up a 1:45.913, so improved on his previous time there a little bit.
Yeah, down into those 45s that we've been seeing, some of the fastest drivers go. And here's the point where he needs to make a decision. Does he now work on helping his teammates? Because again, this being a team-based qualifying, your team average is what counts. He's got himself a 45. Does he kind of slow down and give, Nuke or Slow K that slingshot to try to give them a little bit of extra time? And here we go. We see Oak coming around that final corner. He was purple by 4/10 leading up to the final sector here. And as he came across the line, knocked almost a whole half second off to get down to that 45.3. Amazing time.
And I do think we see Nuke is kind of backpedaling a little and Slow K is catching him. So this might be our first strategy move here, coming down the mountain. Slow K's going to catch him right as they're hitting this backstretch. What do they call this? The chase, I think they call it, right?
Yep, Slow K catching up very fast.
Nice.
We'll go ahead and get around and get that slingshot. Let's see what the sector time is for Slow K. Yeah, he's up 1.3 And then Nuke's going to get into his draft in order to get a little bit of extra speed at the end, too.
Yep.
Now, Nuke had to sacrifice a bunch to set that up, so he is certainly not going to get his personal best on here, but he may have been able to shoot
going into the pits.
Oh, in fact, Nuke was on a pit anyway, so that's the perfect time to just hand that off to another driver. I mean, again, if these guys are on comms together, they can certainly kind of stagger their pit entrance by saying, "Hey, I'm gonna sacrifice my lap here because I'm going to go into the pits anyway to give you the slingshot." And here's a chance for you now to get caught up and get on sync with the other drivers.
That exact point looks like Oak and I can't quite see who's in front of him, but they came out right with each other. Okay.
Yeah, but it looks like Q went into the pits again. It looks like he must not have fueled up very much that last time because he's at 7% fuel. So he will still be off sequence with the rest of the drivers here.
Now we have Oak just
Oak
nailed
took
the
damage.
wall.
He's got time. There's still 6.5 minutes to go. He can come in, get that repaired, and still get at least one more hot lap in, but that's going to make it a little more difficult to work together. Let's see as he's coming up the mountain here. Hear this right-hand turn. The back end can get away from you, and that's exactly what happened. And then this next turn, yeah,
Wow.
if you lose the front end, it's so tricky. You can really float through that corner, but you have to hit it right. If you put a little too much steering input in, you end up scrubbing the front tires, and then you lose that front end grip, and then the car just like plows into the wall. And it looks like that's exactly what happened.
So I would expect Naranjo and Slow-K to pit right now, and they might be able to pick up Q about the time they're coming out. I don't know, Q's a little far back, but
Exactly what they're doing.
Well, and so when they come out, they will be on an out lap, whereas Q will be on his hot lap. So even if they have to wait for him and give him a double slingshot,
right?
Oh, are they? Is that what? I mean, they could. I don't know if they're in cahoots.
Now they're gonna.
If they're listening, that would be the way to do it. Double slingshot Q around.
But yeah, Oak and Slow-K will come out of the pits, nose to tail.
Yeah, so we'll see what they do. We'll see if they, because right now if they're on hot laps, or Nuke is on a hot lap now.
Yes, Nuke just started his hot lap. And Q's still a little too far back to take advantage of the team. Unless one of those two that are on their hot lap completely backs out and stays with them.
Yeah, Oak is leading the charge right now, and he is on an out lap. So Oak should be able to slow down. Let Nuke, yeah, he could help Nuke out for sure.
Slow-K should slow down and try and help Q out.
Yep.
But
you'd have to park it at the bottom of the mountain for a while, but
right. And it's so easy for us to sit here and talk these strats while we're watching this. If you're out on track while this is all happening, you don't think that way.
Right.
You're too busy trying to hit your apexes and your corners and your DRS.
Yeah, Oak decided he's still going full beans here, so no slingshot for Nuke at this point, but
Nuke is on his best lap though. He's up by over a 10th on his personal time.
There we go. Trying to work his way down into the 46s. He's got enough fuel, he's got enough time for 2 more hot laps. His tires are still looking pretty fresh. See if he was able to do it. Yeah, did gain 1.8 tenths down to a 47.799, so just under a 47.8.
And they've got themselves in a good kind of spacing here, to your point, to where, if they're on comms, they can communicate. It doesn't look like Oak's going to be slowing down for anybody, though, based on what I'm seeing.
But Q just crossed the line. He knocked about a quarter second off, so he's down to a 147.154 now, but he spins it coming out of turn 1.
He's trying to bury the wall now.
Yeah, Q having a tough time.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good bank lap, though. 47.1. That's still...
See if we can see what happens here as he turns in. Looks good on that. Maybe just a little...
Too much steering input to go along with too much throttle. That's the thing. TK's talked about this yesterday on the broadcast, that the turbos on these cars are so big that once it kicks in, all that extra torque can really make it just snap around on you. The exact same thing in the exact same spot happened to Wid yesterday. Just that turn 1, which, I mean, Wid was able to recover just fine, put together a blistering lap time yesterday. I think he had let's look at my notes, a 145.672. So, a crash doesn't ruin it, unless, of course, it's at the very end of the qualifying session. But Oak coming to the line here. He'll get one more lap to try to put down his personal best. Looks like he was a little off on that one. The 7R's Nuke coming to the line as well. Almost on a personal best. NVR Slow K with a marginal improvement, 9 1,000s, but an improvement is an improvement. He only needs 3 more thousands or 4 more thousands to get under the 48s. But here we go. This should be the final lap for all drivers. Let's see. Q also coming to the line here. Let's see if he's got an improvement in him.
No, because he got the spin.
Oh, that's right. How quickly I forget.
Yeah, all 2 minutes.
What can I say?
And
That's
what a
my
wild
excuse.
ride here with Oak as he is now heading down the mountain. He's up.
Purple.
He's on a significant improvement. Ooh, tapped the wall a little bit there. No damage. Here's that tricky corner. Carry the speed. Ooh, he was on the edge. The back end wiggled a little bit, but it doesn't look like it cost him at all. He's on absolute minimum fuel at this point. He's about to reach the last time check before the finish line. Lost a little bit of time there, but still up 6 100ths. Just has to get through this chicane and then the final turn. Navigates that nicely. Hammering that DRS button. Getting through the final corner, which again, you try to carry as much speed as you can. A little wiggle wiggle. Coming to the line. Does improve by about a 10th. 145.8. Nuke up 2/10. Slow K up another half a tenth. Everybody improving on their final lap. Q on the final lap here, but with that front end damage. Unless he did some amazing stuff going up and down the mountain.
No, he was still over a second and a half behind on his time.
Woo. So there we have it. Another qualifying session in the books.
Yeah.
And do we have the pre-qualifying times there for these guys? Papa, what do you think about these? You want to take us through the times real quick?
Absolutely. We got Oak sitting here with the 45.821. Q, even with his troubles, still was able to at least put in a 47.1 for his team. Sector 7's Nuke, a 47.597. And NVR's Slow K with the 47.949. All solid times.
They
Everything under a 148. Oak the standout in the 145 range, so they should get a pretty decent average time out of that. So well done. Everybody continued to improve as they made it through the qualifying session. So that's what you like to see.
Yep.
You know, constant kind of slow incremental, each time you go around. We didn't see a lot of teamwork in that one. Didn't see that slingshot maneuver, but they all, still put in plenty of good times in and of themselves.
Yep, they really did. And, great team effort there. We maybe were hoping for a little bit more of the drafting and bump drafting, but, I think there's plenty more of that opportunity to come throughout the weekend. A lot of qualifying sessions still to be run. So, we're all clamoring for all the teamwork, right? Which is so cool. That's what I really love about the qualifying sessions and the way that they're set up. So, I think it's exciting just to see that you get, kind of the track to yourself also.
Right. I mean, we just saw, Big Pace with 2 cars, set the fastest times with, or the fastest time so far without the slingshot. So as much as we're anticipating watching it, because from a viewer's perspective, that's exciting. It could certainly be done without it. So I think at this
Yeah.
point we're probably ready to take a quick break, right?
Mhm.
And then we've got another 4-car team that's getting themselves queued up. So in about 5 minutes or so, we'll be back with those guys. Stay tuned.
and welcome back, everyone, to the VIP GT World Championship. We are in the pre-qualifying session here tonight. We've seen 2 splits run. We're going to see 2 more qualifying sessions tonight. I am Slow Mo. I am joined by my colleagues Salamander and Papa to my left there. So, guys, wow, we've seen some blistering times and we are not done. There is a lot more talent still to run. I'm a little more familiar with some of the guys that we've got coming up compared to some of the ones that we've seen. What are you guys looking for in the next group that we're going to see? And maybe now's a good time to look at our team coming in.
Fast times. I'm waiting for that 44. Somebody's going to hit it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this team could be it.
Yeah, I mean, with this session here, we've got, Infinite Octane and friends. Infinite Octane is IORT. We got Alicos, Flobster, Raptor Joe, Bacon Dance. We've seen a number of these drivers make appearances in NRL where they have had good showings there. And we anticipate that they're going to have a good showing today as well. A lot of fast drivers. I expect, at least some 46s out of these guys, maybe some more 45s. If they could work together, maybe we'll see that elusive 44. Who knows? But anxious to see what these guys do when they get out on the track.
Yeah, absolutely. We are looking for that elusive 44 or that even 45-1 at this point, right? I mean, we'll probably toss off our headphones and do jumping jacks at that point. But these guys, boy, they've been setting the bar higher and higher with every qualifying session. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, each time these guys come out, the bar gets raised. You push it a little bit harder, and we're seeing the same thing today. I mean, we thought the times we saw yesterday were bananas, and then right out of the gate today, they beat it. So, and then Oak in the last session also drops another 145. It was a higher 145, but anything in the 145 level is alien territory. So.
Yeah.
It's funny here at Mount Panorama for those that have watched it. It's this is the one that has, if you sit in a certain spot long enough, an alien spaceship comes and like beams up a cow or something like that.
Yeah, it
So
does. It's amazing to see it.
Fitting that we'll have a track with a bunch of aliens running around. Who knows? Maybe we'll get a glimpse. I think you have to be in it for like 20 minutes or something before it shows up, and these are only 15-minute qualifiers. So
okay, so we're just a little bit short. I've heard about that, but I thought it was just a myth.
No, I've seen a couple YouTube videos about it. In fact, I think Papa on a live stream sat there and
Did you do it?
found it once.
Yep.
I haven't done it yet.
Yep, posted a short a couple of years ago about it. It was you have to sit there right at the top of the mountain, and you just got to sit there and wait. And yeah, it's like 20 minutes. I think you're right. I think something like that. But it eventually shows up, beams up the cow, takes off.
Wow, that's awesome.
It is.
I'm gonna have to check out your short because I'm not gonna sit there for 20 minutes. I'll be honest.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go back in the library a bit.
That's
okay. It was a while
ago.
ago.
We'll find it.
I do like that. Polyphony and GT here. They've got some of these like Easter eggs, in the game that makes it just that much more, exciting. I mean,
right.
We all talk about sport mode here and what we're doing with the leagues, and this is all very exciting. But GT7 is filled with so much more, which is why people keep coming back. They've got the showcase stuff where people do livery designs. I like doing livery designs myself. They've got the mode where you go and just take cool pictures of cars and different lighting and all this sort of stuff. I'm not as good at that, but there's people that love doing that sort of thing. And then there's the car collectors. I mean, there's just so many things that you can do. And then with the lobby modes, I mean, we're using it for league racing. Which is obviously fun for what we do. My kids like going into these lobbies and they do these like cops and robbers role play thing, which
I've seen
don't
those.
quite understand.
Yeah, I don't either, but I have seen them.
But they love it. They'll sit there and spend hours going around issuing tickets to people who are speeding, and it's
That's
like,
great.
okay, you guys do you. But the point is that the game is flexible enough for people to do what they want and have fun in whatever
Yeah.
way that they find fun. It's not just sport mode. It's not just what we want. It's what a lot of
Right.
a lot of these other people want too, and that's what's fun to see. I think that's what makes Gran Turismo kind of the premier you know sim racing game out there.
And
I know some people call it Simcade, but it's still.
yeah, and I just want to throw it, Sal. If I remember right, Sal, you won one of those livery contests on Digits YouTube channel, correct?
That's right, I did. I
You
did.
did.
No, actually, no. It was RJ won it. I took second. That's what it was.
Oh, you were
I
second,
thought.
RJ1. Okay.
I
Okay,
was
all right.
second.
I knew
Our
you
good
guys were
friend
right up top.
RJ,
Yeah.
our good friend RJ ended up winning that one, which he deserved. His
I
livery
thought you
was
won.
better than
I
mine.
thought you won another one. So
I think I
I remembered
won.
RJ, but I don't know.
No, that was that was the one on Digits, but there's been a number of livery competitions, but I've been so busy with broadcasting lately, I haven't done or I haven't competed in a livery competition for a while. We've done a couple of livery competitions in for like some of the PhD charity events and stuff like
Hmm.
that, but that's been
Yep,
me putting it on rather than competing in it, which is
competing,
is
right?
still fun. The creativity that some of these people have with these liveries, which, you know, speaking of, this we've got a sneak peek of the IORT team that's getting their way out on track now, and the livery that they've come up with is subtle and genius. They've
Yes.
basically taken a Sector 7 livery and tagged it with IORT. I find that hilarious. I think it's funny. They did a good job. It's all tongue in cheek. Everybody loves it.
Yeah.
We're all on board, but it's a fun one. The Sector
Very well
7 has
done.
Sector 7 has their kind of like standard, like you can spot a Sector 7 car from a mile away. They've got the red, white, and blue paint scheme
Hmm.
and a very similar design. Not the exact same design, but it's one of those you can tell that it's the taste of Sector 7. And IORT was just like, yeah, we're just going to come in and tag it, make it our own, and try to throw it in your face. So we'll see. Again, all in good fun. I'm anxious to see what these guys do. If they work together. Looks like they're actually bunched up a little bit out on
I
track.
would say, yeah. Yep.
So maybe they're planning to work together the whole time. They're gonna have to be careful with that dirty air that we've talked about before. But again, we saw Oak in the last round. He's using DRS going up and down the mountain. If there's grip to spare, and we see that in Group 2 cars. They have so much grip that maybe the dirty air isn't quite as impactful. But I guess we'll see how these guys go. They're spreading out a little bit, but they are.
Yes, Al, I noticed
still,
that as soon as you said that, they were starting to space out just a little bit coming across the start finish for their hot lap here.
Yeah, so we'll see. Maybe they get spaced out enough, go up and down the mountain, and if somebody is naturally faster than one of the other guys on a particular lap, then they may end up, getting bunched up and then just get the slipstream naturally. So we'll see how it all plays out. But at least this will also give them the opportunity that if somebody does have just kind of a throwaway lap, that's part of it too. You could just go in, do your best, everybody, give each other space. And if somebody just has a problem, it's like, okay, well, once I get to the bottom of the mountain, I'll slow down and just give this one to you. This one's not going to be my best anyway. So we'll see if they do that. But Alicos here leading the charge.
Bacon Dance has some front-end damage right behind him. He wasn't able to catch where he got it, but he does have a...
Oh, Alicos lost the rear end there. He caught it. But man, that's going to have cost him some time. Almost lost the car. Yeah, Bacon Dance. Looks like he's going to slow down. Let's see what happened here. Yeah, it looks like he just clambered that wall just before the replay started. We can see the damage there on the front left side. On his way up the mountain. It looked like he was, Bacon Dance slowed down for Flobster, getting Flobster in slipstream.
There
This
you
is going to
go.
be the first hot lap, so we'll see where he ends up. He's got the overspeed going to the corner, goes a little bit deep, but gathers it in, keeps it smooth. Heads on down to the last corner. Bacon Dance heading in to get that damage taken care of. Alicos is going to be the first one across the line with a 49.7, followed by Flobster, a 46.5. Very nice first lap by Flobster, and another 46.5 by Raptor Joe, surpasses Flobster by less than a tenth of a second. So we have seen throughout all these qualifying sessions that the drivers just get faster as they go, as this fuel burns off, as they get into a rhythm. 46.5 is a very good lap to start with. Raptor Joe heads his way on up the mountain, following just a little bit behind Flobster at this point. Gets through that tricky little left-hander, then here's that right, and this is where Bacon Dance got the damage, was just on the next right turn after that. Then once they get through some of that tight twisty bits, it gets pretty flat out until they hit the top of the mountain, and then here he is, tenth of a second purple. Dab the brakes just a few times getting through there. It's really tricky. I had gotten a private coaching session from Hawko, a former NRL champion, here at Mount Panorama, and that whole, once you come down the mountain, it's tricky that you have to be both braking and using the throttle to keep your car stabilized as you're coming down through there. As we see Raptor Joe going 0.2 of a second purple, really looking to get that time down at the end here. But it's tricky with the footwork. When you're trying to slow down, to kind of give it a little bit of gas to settle the car from time to time is kind of the secret sauce to get the extra time out of it. See Alicos coming across, gets down to the 46s as Flobster gets down into the 45s. Raptor Joe also improving by 0.3 into the low 46s to a 46.1. So this team certainly coming across with some good times, with still well over half of this qualifying left to go. Flobster down into the 45s. Maybe looking to give one of these guys a slingshot around for that little bit of extra speed. Everybody getting low on fuel at this point, though. This may be an in-lap for all of them, just to go get new tires, new fuel, because they're not allowed to reset to the pits on this one. So it doesn't make any sense to go across the line if you're not going to make it around a whole nother lap. That and the heavy damage on in qualifying makes things. We saw that in the last round where Q took some damage on his very first outlap, actually. They had to come in and get off sequence with the rest of the team. But these guys, the top three are all fairly bunched up. Bacon Dance there in the back because of that damage. Looking to try to see if he can work his way back up. Hasn't quite gotten his first hot lap in, so probably trying to get that with this one as he heads his way down the mountain the other side. Nice and smooth there. Didn't see a lot of mishandling of the car. Tries to carry some speed through that final corner. Hammers that DRS button, looking to see what he can get from there. All right, what are you guys seeing here today, in this session? Slow-mo, anything standing out?
Well, it looks like Alicos and Flobster have both, and actually Raptor Joe have all three gone into the pits, so they're going to get in, get themselves settled. I wouldn't be surprised if they're able to make this work, and it looks like they're probably going to be behind Bacon Dance, as he is coming around here on his first hot lap, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Put in a 146.714, so very respectable first lap for him. Obviously, he struggled with a little bit of damage. And there you see the team coming out right behind him, as they are going to head out the mountain on their hot outlaps to try to potentially keep up with Bacon Dance.
Yeah, I mean, almost a perfect situation. Bacon Dance coming out right in front. I don't think he's going to have the fuel to go around another lap to give these guys that coveted slingshot maneuver. He's probably going to be coming in at the end of this one. But the other three are all fairly close together, so we're going to see if they try to pull something off. But I mean, Lobster with that 45 That's looking good. I mean, all 4 of them are pretty tight. I mean, everybody's, right around or within a second of each other. So this should be pretty indicative of what the team average is going to be. Bacon Dance got a little squirrely there going over the top of the mountain, getting into that braking zone. It's very easy to lose the car in that section. As soon as you crest that hill and you hit the brakes, you're braking while turning. And that can very much upset the rear end of the car. And that's what I was talking about earlier, where there's sometimes where you have to kind of get off the brake or even give it a little bit of gas just to resettle the car down so that you can brake properly as you get into the next set of corners, which are really tight. Here we go, Bacon Dance coming around. I suspect he will be diving into the pits here. And they do. And there we got Flobster leading the charge. Coming around, finishing out the outlap. All 3 of these guys will be finishing off their outlaps and beginning their next set of hot laps. Got 5 minutes, 23 seconds left to go in this qualifying session. That may give them three hot laps to go. Although with that being said, Flobster's fuel is already blinking. So did not put a lot of fuel in. Although he's got the time to do 3 laps, I don't think he's going to have the fuel to do it. I think he's just going to have the one. What do you think, Papa?
Well, yeah, I think he's only got 1 lap in him. I was kind of keeping an eye on Raptor Joe here. He backed out quite a bit. And I thought maybe his strategy was to wait for Bacon Dance to come out of the pits, but he's definitely not waiting now, as Bacon Dance is probably about 5-6 seconds behind him. But I thought that's what they were going to do. Maybe he'll wait for him at the bottom of the hill here. But
so we watch Flobster here. He's heading on up the mountain, gets through this fast little right-hander. Oh, the rear end stepped out on him.
Ouch.
And while trying to catch the car, the front end went right into the wall. Now he's got that front end damage. He's got time, I think, to get in and maybe get 1 more hot lap in because he can go around 1 time and then we'll have 1 more hot lap in him. Alicos with rear end damage, yeah. I think we missed that one, but backed it into the wall. That must have been a serious spin. This is what happens, though. Now that we're into the second half, the guys have got, maybe they're all, looking at their personal bests already, and they're like, all right, let's push it. Let's see if we can do better. They're right on that knife's edge already. It doesn't take much to lose the car. Yeah, we got both Flobster and Alicos in. Flobster going to need some fuel, Alicos as well. But they will have time for 1 more shot. So it looks like Bacon Dance and Raptor Joe on their hot laps. Sitting in the 46s, Raptor Joe with the 46.1, Bacon Dance with the 46.7. Bacon Dance purple after that first sector, although as we had mentioned before, that first sector is the easiest sector on the track. Got his wipers on, anticipating some rain maybe?
Yeah.
I don't think we have the rain in the settings, but Bacon Dance did have some damage. It might have been one of those where jerking the wheel around may have hit a button.
Right.
And if he's not in VR, probably doesn't even realize that the wiper's on.
Yeah, Sal, they're a little bit more bunched up now. Not quite close together, but I'm right on board with Flobster, and you can see the car ahead of him, so they're not too far away from each other.
Bacon Dance just cresting the top of the hill was 0.2 to his personal best. Looks like he carried quite a bit of speed getting through the bottom there, and he does have the draft from the car in front. Who has that in front? That's Raptor Joe.
No.
I believe Raptor Joe is on an outlap, so this may be a great chance. Yep, Bacon Dance still 0.2 to his personal best. Raptor Joe gets out of the way.
Oh no!
He's got the overspeed, does get it down onto the apex.
Raptor Joe had a little trouble there, but I don't think he hit anything.
If he didn't take any damage?
No damage, but yeah, I think he did get out in the grass, trying to get out of Bacon Dance's way.
Bacon Dance with a 45.9.
There you go.
All right, I think we can catch a replay of what happened to Raptor Joe as he was trying to give the space. See them coming through, going to get to the kink here. He's slowed down, gave Bacon Dance all that slipstream. He's going to go wide here in the kink and gets off into the grass. Oh, loses the rear end. Around he goes. Where he stops, nobody knows. No, we know. It's in the dirt. But he didn't hit anything. So
It was a good recovery. Yeah.
Very good recovery.
And again, like you mentioned, he was on an outlap, so
he was on an outlap.
Get the slip, get out of the way, everything's fine.
Yeah, he's going to have some. He was going to have had some dirt on his tires for that first turn, which should have been good for the rest of the lap. We're down with less than a minute to go, so this is going to be Bacon Dance's last shot. He is on the minimal amount of fuel, dancing down the mountain. Working his way to that final corner at the bottom of the mountain. That last time through, oh, he's going to slow down. Oh, are they lining up for something special here? Oh no, Alikos, they may have been trying to give the slingshot to Alikos, but I think they may have mistimed it. Bacon Dance does give him a little bit of slip. Let's see where Alikos is at. Oh, he is a half second up on his personal best. That is a lot of time. He's going to have some overspeed getting into this corner. Gets down, gets through it just fine. Let's see if he can carry it through the final corner. See if he can get himself down into the low 46s here.
Come on, come on.
It's the line, a 46.3 does knock
Nice.
0.523 off of his time.
And these guys are having a good old time coming down the back.
Raptor Joe's out of gas.
Lobster's practicing his drifting. Bacon Dance doing his best.
Bacon Dance is going back to get him.
Doing his best Mater impression by driving in reverse. Not the world's best backwards driver.
This is like Jimmy Johnson pushing Chase Elliott to his first win. Oh, gave him a shot. Oh my lord. Wasn't just a push.
Oh, there's another good one.
Guys are
giving
just
them the business.
But hey, we got two 145s out of the team and two more in the low 146s. So I think they've earned the right to have a little fun at the end of this one. Good quality times. I mean, again, we talked about that earlier. You know, it's each driver kind of has their personal best. You know, what they already know they're capable of doing. And if they've hit that,
out of fuel. It's another boat out of fuel.
If they hit that personal best, it's time to just sort of have some fun.
Good stuff.
All right, what a good
qualifier.
Man, I mean, we did see some teamwork in this one. Some of that teamwork we were looking for of giving the slingshot around. They all looked to be as if they were, moments of opportunity. Maybe not necessarily planned out, but certainly executed well. In each one of them, we did see the driver get their personal best at the end of it. So we know it's a winning strategy. It's just a matter of executing on it. So
yeah, I mean, even that last lap, Alikos able to use that slip from Bacon Dance, and Flopster gained, like, what'd you say, half a second on his best time, which helps the team. So every little bit helps in these situations like this.
Yeah, and let's take one more look at the times.
You want to take us through it, Slow-Mo?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So you've got Flopster, who put the 145.825 up. His teammate there, Bacon Dance, with the 145.919, as we saw. Raptor Joe is going to finish his pre-qualifying with a 146.187. And then you've got Alikos there with that last minute push to get himself to that 146.330. Like you said, Sal, really exciting to see them utilize the team opportunities there and, get themselves an advantage if they can do it.
Yeah, with this being the team sport, I mean, I'd mentioned early in that qualifier, they had about a 1 second separation, which was impressive to all be within a second. And then they closed that up to be only a half second. So nice,
Right.
tight team qualifying. That could play to their advantage when it comes to race day. If they all
Yep.
have similar pace, they can not only, get this good average time to start with, but, be working with each other on
Yeah.
race day as well.
Yeah, that is a very good point because as we know, this league is going to be about being a team. So we're going to see a lot of different strategies that are going to play out and some really cool, power ups and different things that the teams are going to use throughout this season. So, being a tight knit group and being able to work together is going to be immensely important throughout this. So, I think we are ready to take a quick break here. And then we will come back for our final qualifying or pre qualifying session of the night. So, hang out where you are, get yourself a fresh popcorn or some more beverages, and we will be right back with some more good pre-qualified.
Popcorn.
Welcome back, everyone. We are back with the VIP GT World Championship pre-qualifying sessions. I am Slow-Mo. I am joined by my colleagues Salamander and Papa. Uh, Please feel free to scan the QR code down in the corner. It'll pop up here shortly, but if you'd like to support our Upshift Media group, we appreciate everybody's support. Please make sure to stop by and check out our page on YouTube at Upshift Media. I believe the description is also in the video. Really exciting group of drivers that we've got coming up next because this is the VIP team. So Sal, take us through the driver team here.
Yeah, they got this one. They're calling themselves Team Gotifi. But yes, this is VIP's premier team that they are fielding in their own league. So we are expecting big things from these guys. We have got almost podium Cyrus Nicky, who I believe is the proprietor. We like to use the word proprietor of
Yep.
VIP. And then we've got JP Scale, the reigning NRL Division B champion, and Shahir, who I hear is the self-appointed king of GT racing in New Jersey. So big things expected out of this Team Godify. Papa, what are you looking for? What kind of times are you thinking we're going to get out of this team?
I expect a 44 out of these guys. These guys are
Ooh.
fast. You got Cyrus Nicky, like you said, the proprietor, and AP is the co-proprietor, almost podium. JP, we know he's the Division II champ in NRL from the last season. And Shahir, I know Shahir personally, but well, he was part of PhD for a while, and the guy is just lightning. You guys, 44s. Expect to see some 44s here.
That is big, big talk, big
Yeah,
expectations.
yeah.
Slow-mo, you think they can do it?
I think they can. If you think about it, they want to represent to a level that everybody that has to follow them is really going to have to think about. It's their league. This is their shot to come out and really stamp their name on it and say, hey, we're not just creators of an incredible league that you guys get to run in, but we're also pretty good drivers at that. And we
Yeah.
expect nothing less, right? We have seen
Yep.
VIP perform at a very high level in a variety of leagues. They're always a team that you have to look out for. They've got their trademark liveries, and these are very sharp. They're going to come out and match and look good as they're doing it too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these guys have kind of made a name for themselves.
Mhm.
Like you said, we've seen them in a number of other leagues, and the fact that they're attracting some, World Series level drivers into
Mhm.
their league says a lot. I mean, they're really bringing the speed, bringing the heat. It's well organized, and yeah, they totally want to represent. So, and speaking of representing, if you're watching us on the McNaughty Gaming channel, welcome. Please remember to like and subscribe on the channel, but also pinned in the chat and as a link in the description is to our Upshift Media Studios YouTube page, which is where we are, you know, we've all put together this company to put on these different league broadcasts. We mentioned this at the beginning of this broadcast. A VIP is our premier or our inaugural league that we are representing. Um, so if you want to support our endeavors there, please also jump over to at Upshift Media Studios on YouTube and like and subscribe over there as well. Slomo did mention that there is a QR code that occasionally pops up in the corner. There it is. If you guys are feeling generous and wish to donate to help us out, that's always a great thing. But man, I mean, this has not disappointed, and we are only in day 2 of 4 days of pre-qualifying. So, uh, you know, I think I mentioned at the beginning, the number of minute 45 laps that we've seen come around. I know we are expecting to see some. I personally was thinking, oh, there's a few guys that'll stand out and get that, but we've been seeing 45s from most of the teams, and some of the teams are all 45s. So
Yeah.
it's like, uh, this stuff is getting real serious. I think even more serious than than I was expecting, and that's exciting. You know, when you've got like this last team we saw, they all have very similar times. So to see them maybe be able to work together when they actually get into the different racing rounds is always exciting as well. So, you know, as we start to get the next qualifying underway, the last qualifying underway for the night, hopefully we'll see some more magic happen.
Count on it. I see it. I can feel it.
Yeah,
Is it hitting you in
100%.
the field? It's hitting you in the field.
It's hitting me in the fields, yes.
All right, well, we're on track. And JP Scale, like we mentioned, the current NRL Division B champion, working his way around on his outlap in that beautiful golden livery. We do see the VIP team rock the same livery all the time. Most of the time, though, it's like a black and maroon with a little bit of white. They're going all gold for this one. They're putting the bling on the car.
Well, and that's the team go to
Kotifi.
Fi livery there. Kotifi, I know. I for whatever reason I couldn't spit it out.
Well, and I just noticed they've got the California out of time license plate on the back. That's a throwback to Back to the Future, isn't it?
You bet it is. One of my favorite movies.
Nice.
Oh, and that's I understand that's Nicholas Latifi, the F1 drivers. They're on the hood of all these cars as well. So F1 fans, Back to the Future fans, I'm liking this team already.
So these guys are staying pretty tight. I like to see this already. I mean, Shahir is definitely in the slipstream of Cyrus Nickies. They're coming down that first long stretch before they head up the hill.
Yeah, so a little bit of dirty air to be had here, but we'll see if they can navigate it. Missed the apex there. But working his way on up, using the DRS, at least on the straightaways. Going through this section, it's a little less steering input. The high downforce cars, I think, can get through all these with the throttle pin. You go through that in Group 3s, and there's a couple of lifts that you have to do. Now we get to that downhill section. Oh, it seems so sketchy. It navigates through it. Again, follows right up on Cyrus Nicky here. Cyrus Nicky probably not having the best lap, but going to be solidly in the slipstream.
Yeah, he is.
On this long straightaway. Let's see if he can set a banger of a lap number 1. JP Scale still up ahead a little ways, getting his way to the chicane. They all get under braking, being careful with that overspeed. That chicane can come and bite you if you're not prepared for it. Here we go as JP Scale gets his way to the start-finish line. Drops a 46.4 on lap 1, very respectable. Cyrus Nicky with a 47 flat. And Shahir with a 46.7. Almost podium, a 49.1. Must have had some sort of issue there in the back. But some respectable times.
Yeah, good opening
here on the
laps.
first couple laps. To get that 144 Papa that you're predicting, they've got to knock a second and a half off. They've certainly got the time to do it. You still think they're going to make it there?
Yeah. I do. I do.
His confidence has not wavered. Here they go, leading up the mountain. They're still pretty tight there. If they can avoid, or not necessarily avoid the dirty air, but manage it successfully and stay very tight when they get to the long straightaway, like they could all be on, for great hot laps. JP Scale, though, looked like as he passed that time check, is about a half second down. Be a good opportunity to slow it on up for his teammates who might be on a better hot lap.
I have 3 of them in the slip. Cyrus Nicky is definitely within JP's slip now. Shahir is still maybe just pushing the outside of the slip of Cyrus Nicky. Almost podium, seems to be losing a little distance to the group in front of him.
Oh, yep, looks like he must have given him the slipstream there, got out of the way knowing he wasn't on his hot lap, hoping Cyrus Nicky is. I was following along with Shahir. He was down about a 10th on his personal best. Looks like those two are going to go into the pits, but Cyrus Nicky going to bank this one. Does improve by about a quarter of a second.
Second, yep.
46.7. Trying to work their way down to the 45. Cyrus Nicky going to have to go around one more lap. These other three are all going to come out. Now, so here's the strategy. Cyrus Nicky's going to go around and pit at the end of this lap. And is then going to come out on his out lap while the other three are starting their hot laps. So he could return the favor. And if he can get up and down the mountain, if those other three can kind of lay back a little bit while they're doing their out lap, so that Cyrus Nicky comes out ahead far enough that he can slow down as they get to the bottom of the mountain, he could return that favor.
Right.
What do you think, Slow-Mo?
Oh, I think so. I think these guys are shaping up and really setting the scene for, you know, one of the best possible scenarios to use the team members here, timing it perfectly, you know, even with kind of splitting up pit stops the way that you're seeing here. You know, I had an expectation that these guys had practiced this time of year.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if they can time it perfectly, where Cyrus Nicky can give a little bit of slip to the lead in a 3-car train, that can make it so the slipstream amongst all three of them, like they can all three benefit from it. You know, it's not like any one person needs to duck out. But we'll see. It's going to take some perfect timing for that to happen.
Yeah.
And we'll see just how much these guys have practiced it. It looks like JP, Shahir, and Almost Podium have spread out a little bit, though, coming their way down the mountain. So they're about to go get on their hot laps. We'll see if they bunch up as they get to the end of this lap, but it doesn't look like it. It looks like they're going to go and just try to get a lap of their own. Cyrus Nicky still in the pits, just fueling up now, so it looks like he's going to come out behind these guys.
Might come out right in front of, yeah, right in front of Shahir again.
Well, there we go. I mean, Cyrus Nicky can at least give one of the team members, you know, being on his out lap. He just needs to maintain pace up and down the mountain. And let's see what Shahir can do. Shahir still needs to also put in a fast lap, you know, getting up there. Obviously, if you're down like a whole second, that added slipstream isn't even going to get you back to your own personal best. So he still needs to get a good lap here. That's what's tricky about this whole slipstream strategy, is that you need to have the timing down just right, and the team members need to be able to perform all the way through the lap. And Shahir is 2/10 purple as he starts coming down the mountain. Bit of a wiggle coming down there, but it looks like Cyrus Nicky has slowed down a bit.
A little bit, I think.
It is going to be in the slipstream. Yep, Cyrus Nicky is off the throttle, letting him catch up. Shahir with that slingshot around, still 2/10 up. So didn't gain a lot more there as he gets through the chicane here. And into the final corner. We'll see what he's got. He's trying to beat a personal best of a 146.7. It gets down to a 146.4, knocked 3/10 off of that time.
Back in the pits.
I wonder if JP had some damage. No,
No.
doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. I mean, we still have 5 minutes left in this qualifier, so 3 more laps around, 1 out lap, 2 hot laps. And I don't know about you guys, but it always seems like the tire temperature is a thing here. And I wish we got more data on that in the heads-up display, but it does seem like you got your out lap. That first hot lap, it seems like the tires still aren't quite up to temp yet. Like your second or maybe even your third hot lap is when you really get your fastest lap. And that may have been what he timed it as. Looks like Cyrus Nicky is up about half a tenth on his personal best. Or no, half a tenth purple.
Purple, yeah.
So that's about 4/10 up on his personal best. Trying to carry the speed out of that final corner at the bottom of the mountain. We're going to hit this last time check before the start finish. See if he was able to carry the speed. Oh, down 1.5 tenths. So lost a lot of time there at the bottom of the mountain. Going through the final few corners. He does have enough fuel. I think we'll be able to make it around one more time. Still have over 4.5 minutes left in this qualifying session. Oh, he did gain a tenth, so made up some time there in the final sector. And Shahir and almost podium back into the pits. I believe the timing is going to work out that they will get one more hot lap after their out lap. But look at those times. JP Scale and Shahir, only 15 1,000ths of a second separate
Right?
them.
So bad.
And then Cyrus Nicky is only a quarter second back from Shahir. So, almost podium. He's got a 47.6, so he's certainly got some time to make up to catch up to the rest of the team, but they're all in that mid 46 range so far. Looking to get their way down in the 45s and maybe jump all the way down into the 44s. JP Scale on his hot lap, getting up near the top of the mountain here, going to crest the hill, then work his way on down, and then watch the footwork. Brake, dab the brake, give it a little bit of gas. And then this final corner, so tough to carry the speed because it's such a low speed corner onto such a high speed section of the track. And you see as he'll hit the time check here as he gets over the bump. One is down 1/10. But we'll have at least one more opportunity. He's going to have minimum fuel. Oh, and he is getting off the gas.
Yeah, so is Cyrus Nicky.
All right, I wonder if they're
something planning.
They might be setting up for something. See if they can get all bunched up for this final lap around. Shahir is just starting his hot lap. Cyrus Nicky going down the first long straightaway, heading to the mountain. Purple by a quarter of a hundredth. Almost podium, bringing up the rear of the four drivers.
And they're not quite close enough to where you can see any of the other drivers, right? Like,
Right.
So, looking back from anybody's position or forward, you can't quite see any of the other guys. So maybe they are planning something. But it looks like they're a little bit farther apart than I'd want to be if I was trying to make something happen.
Right, I would agree with you.
Well, definitely heading up and down the mountain, you want to give yourself some space. JP Scale is purple by a tenth of a second, but it all comes down to where you're at the bottom of the mountain. So we're going to see if anybody waits. Here comes JP Scale around. Cyrus Nicky up ahead, definitely waiting for JP Scale, trying to give him some extra boost. JP approaching very quickly. Gonna fly around the outside, get through the kink. Looked like he was purple there. I missed the time though.
About a tenth, just over a tenth and a half.
Okay.
AP is on his best lap right now. He's up almost 2/10 on his best time.
There we go. So this is the final lap. You can see the indicator at the top. JP Scale going to come across the line. The 46.4 wasn't able to quite get the improvement there. Shahir down by about half a second, but almost podium. Does improve by almost 4/10 to a 47.3. Here
Wow.
we go.
Yeah, so we did see some very good teamwork
We
from the
did.
VIP group out there. Maybe not quite hitting those 144s like Papa had hoped for, but still very good times from the team there. Um, and let's take a look at what those were real quick. Sal, do you want to take us through the drivers' times here?
Sure, I'd be happy to. So we had JP Scale leading the team with a 146.423, followed by Shahir very closely with a 146.438, only 15 1,000ths back. Then we got Cyrus Nicky with a 146.691, and almost podium, who puts in the fastest lap at the very end with a 147.304.
Yeah, so really good times. I mean, my goodness, we're only 2 days into the pre-qualifying, and these times are just they're very fast. So this is shaping up to be a
Yeah.
very, very talented league of drivers here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the fact that we are now looking at 146s and almost being disappointed is surprising, because a 146 is a fast
Yes.
time around
It
this
is.
lap
Yeah.
or around this track. So I mean, certainly we're still going to see some very good tight racing going on, and I mean, couldn't be more proud to be here and be calling this stuff. Again, we got 2 more days coming up: Saturday, Sunday, same bat time, same bat channel that we're here. We're going to be doing this one. Uh, so there we go. The next session Saturday, still Oceana, conquering the mountain, pre-qualifying. You can visit motorsportleagues.com for the complete schedule of all 7 rounds of action, plus the grand final that will be happening at the end. Good stuff there. You're going to be able to catch all the action for the entire league on the Upshift Media Studios YouTube page. So if you are on that page, please remember to like and subscribe. If you are on the McNaughty Gaming channel, like and subscribe there, and then jump over to the Upshift Media Studios channel. As that will be the primary source for all of this league action. Um, Man, we saw some good stuff today. Papa, anything stand out for you as far as all the action that we had going on?
A lot of great action, a lot of great teamwork. I think there were a few missed opportunities um, for teamwork throughout the day and even yesterday too. Um, but man, again, it's only the first couple nights, 2 more nights to go. Um, Maybe some of the other teams are paying attention, taking notes. Um, I still think we're going to hit a 44 by the time this is done Sunday night. We're hitting the 44.
Yeah, I'm still
We're so
optimistic
close
as
to it.
well. I think it can happen. Uh, I mean, we've got some teams coming up that we know of, like the MMR group. They are always very fast as well. So,
Yeah.
something to be said from them. Slomo, any thoughts from you before we wrap this up for this evening?
Oh yeah, I mean we saw some exceptionally fast times from the people who maybe were probably kicking themselves thinking they left times on the track, right? So really, really, really good driving that we saw from these guys. The team, the team dynamic for me is just my favorite part. We all get excited and start clamoring every time. It's like, oh, here we go, a little shake and bake action going on the front straight or the back straight. So so exciting. Generally pre-qualifying is just that. It's just pre-qualifying. This is exciting pre-qualifying. So it doesn't get much better than this. We're not even into actual racing yet.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, this really bodes well for what the rest of the season is going to be. Like we said, 2 more days of pre-qualifying action before we hit the racing rounds. We'll be talking about that more when we get to the Sunday qualifier. But you know, once again, last call for like and subscribe to the channels that we're on here. We will be back on Saturday. The drivers get a day off tomorrow to try to get those last minute bits of strategy in for pre qualifying. But until then, everybody take it easy, Be nice to one another. We'll see you back here on Saturday.